At just 18, Cooper Flagg plays with the composure of a veteran, the IQ of a coach, and the confidence to drain jumpers over stars like Anthony Davis. He's not on his way, he's already arrived, and the NBA isn't ready. Flagg's impact has always been undeniable, consistently elevating every team he's on, often dominating opponents older, stronger, and far more experienced than him.
So much weight.
From day one, Cooper Flagg looked like the total package. Polished offense, elite defensive instincts, and a basketball IQ that seemed years ahead of his age. When a player checks all three boxes, they're usually unstoppable. He proved it at every level, first in high school, then in college. And now, NBA teams like the Dallas Mavericks, who've tracked his rise closely, are betting he'll do the same in the pros. But this kind of dominance didn't happen overnight. Cooper's legend started in Newport, Maine, when he was a 6 feet 6 inches 8th grader dunking on kids his age, at just 13 years old. The game came easy against peers, so his trainer decided to test him. He called up one of his college clients, a guard from the University of Maine, and told him to challenge the middle schooler. The mission was simple: make Cooper uncomfortable, get physical, crowd him, force mistakes. At first, it worked. The college player's strength and experience threw Cooper off. He fumbled possessions, missed reads, and couldn't get into rhythm. But a week later, in the rematch, everything changed. Cooper showed up calm, confident, and then completely dominated. His poise and decision-making looked like that of a seasoned pro. By the end, word spread fast. An 8th grader had outplayed a Division I starter. People didn't believe it until they saw it for themselves. From that day forward, Flagg made a habit of destroying older competition. As a freshman at Nokomis Regional High, he led his team to a state championship and became Maine's Gatorade Player of the Year. Then he and his twin brother Ace transferred to Montverde Academy, the Florida powerhouse that's basically an NBA factory. In his second and final season there, Montverde went 33-0, and Flagg emerged as the most dominant player in the country. To be why August 2023, he reclassified to graduate early, entering college a year ahead of schedule. And barely a month after graduation, he got the toughest test of his life: a spot on the USA select team scrimmaging against the Olympic-bound Team USA in Las Vegas before the 2024 Paris Games. He was just 17, the youngest player there, surrounded by LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Steph Curry. Most kids would have been starstruck. Cooper wasn't. He played like he belonged. Players, coaches, and executives left stunned. But what impressed select team head coach Jamal Mosley, who also coaches the Orlando Magic, wasn't just Flagg's performance. It was his mindset. Mosley said Cooper wasn't trying to prove he belonged. He was trying to learn. He asked questions constantly about defensive rotations, shot selection, leadership. It's huge for a young guy to ask the right questions, Mosley said. He just wanted to understand what it looks like at the next level. That curiosity told Mosley everything he needed to know. Guys with high basketball IQs who want to play the right way, they ask questions. Mosley remembered one play that summed up Cooper's maturity. Flagg caught the ball in the paint, guarded by Drew Holiday, one of the toughest defenders alive. Mosley assumed the kid wouldn't move him. Instead, Cooper backed him down and finished through him. "That's Drew," Mosley laughed. "Nobody backs Drew down. He just finished it on him." After holding his own against Team USA, college basketball was never going to intimidate him. In his one-and-done year at Duke, Flagg averaged 19.2 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.4 blocks per game. He wasn't just Duke's best player. He was the best player in the country. The Blue Devils went 35-4 with him leading the charge, locking up his status as the #1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Head coach John Shire trusted him completely, even giving him point-forward responsibilities. Flagg brought the ball up, ran the offense, and finished the season with 156 assists, 41 more than any other Duke player. Among all ACC players, only 7 others had double-digit scoring averages with an assist percentage above 25%, and none of them were forwards that he had 5 games with 7 or more assists, including a record-breaking night against Notre Dame on January 11th, 2025. That night, he dropped 42 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 11 for 14 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and 16 for 17 at the line. The performance shattered both the Duke and ACC freshman scoring records, and in the NCAA tournament, he kept raising the bar. In Duke's Sweet 16 win over Arizona, Flagg erupted for 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks, all while orchestrating the offense like a veteran. Coach Shire called it one of the best tournament performances I've ever seen. By the end of the season, Flagg swept nearly every major award: ACC Player of the Year, ACC Rookie of the Year, and National Player of the Year from the AP, NABC, USBWA, and the Wooden Award. That made him just the 4th freshman in history, joining Zion Williamson, Anthony Davis, and Kevin Durant to win National Player of the Year honors. From main gyms to March Madness, Cooper Flagg hasn't just met expectations, he's obliterated them. The scary part? He's still only 18. For years, Cooper Flagg has carried the label the next big thing. But now that he's in the NBA, the question has shifted. Not who he could become, but what exactly he already is. Needless to say, drafting him was one of the easiest decisions any team could make. Maybe only Victor Wembanyama felt more like a sure thing in recent years. And while Wembanyama looked like a once-in-a-generation unicorn, scouts called Flagg the safest prospect they'd ever evaluated. A player with Scottie Pippen's defensive instincts, only more refined at a younger age. This draft class was loaded with talent, but make no mistake, Flagg was a top prospect on both ends of the floor. Need him to set a hard screen and roll to the rim? Done. Flagg's an explosive finisher who thrives attacking downhill. Need him spacing the floor, cutting, or moving off the ball? He's equally comfortable there. In just one season at Duke, he made massive leaps as a shooter and an isolation scorer, evolving into a legitimate 3-level threat. And if the team needs rebounding and hustle instead of buckets, Flagg doesn't hesitate. He loves contact and has a natural feel for tracking the ball.
He's just fit in seamlessly, doesn't over dribble, steal, Cooper, in transition, big finish.
But where he truly separates himself is on defense. Flagg isn't just a good defender. He's a complete one. A player who doesn't really have a position because he can guard every single one. One night he's locking up a quick guard on the perimeter. The next he's banging with a center in the paint. For a team that switches everything, that kind of versatility is priceless. That he's instinctive, disruptive, and remarkably composed for his age. He doesn't over-dribble or force plays in transition. He just makes the right read and finishes strong. His timing and awareness make him a nightmare for opposing offenses. He can block shots at the rim, then immediately rotate to contest a corner 3. It's that combination of anticipation and length that's drawn comparisons to players like Pippen and Andre Kirilenko. When the draft lottery results were revealed, chaos erupted in Dallas. General manager Nico Harrison, who had shocked the NBA months earlier by trading franchise icon Luka Doncic, was seen celebrating wildly. The Mavericks, left reeling after Kyrie Irving's ACL tear, suddenly had a future again. For Flagg, the feeling was mutual. The chance to contribute to a veteran contender from day one was exactly what he wanted. Dallas had just a 1.8% chance of landing the top pick, but when they did, both sides knew it was fate. The Mavericks hoped Flagg could grow his game while proving he was one of those rare rookies capable of helping a team win immediately. And he's walking into one of the most experienced locker rooms in the league. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and Klay Thompson, all future Hall of Famers. Around them, a group of proven role players like Derek Lively II, Daniel Gafford, and P.J. Washington.
NCAA basketball here in Las Vegas. And of course, everyone thinks that they'll have... Oh, wow! Cooper Flagg gets free.
Head coach Jason Kidd called it the perfect setup for a young player to learn both the game and the grind of the NBA. Flagg agreed. He called it a blessing and said he was ready to absorb everything he could. And it's a good thing he's wired that way, because Kidd seems ready to challenge him immediately. When Kidd watched film from Flagg's Duke season, he couldn't help but think back to another 6 feet 8 inches Blue Devil who entered the NBA with similar polish, Grant Hill. Hill shared Rookie of the Year honors with Kidd back in 1995 and became a prototype for the modern point forward. Kidd said he sees that same balance of power, skill, and vision in Flagg's game. Flagg's offensive poise is hard to miss. His ability to dictate tempo while attacking with force jumps off the screen. It's easy to imagine him driving into the lane, then lofting lobs to Davis, Lively, or Gafford, just like he did for Duke's Cameron Malawach. And with Kyrie out, Dallas will need that playmaking immediately. Without Irving's shot creation, Kidd plans to use Flagg as both a secondary ball handler and occasional initiator, testing whether he can direct NBA offenses the way he did in college. The Mavericks believe their massive front court of Davis, Gafford, Lively, and Washington could become one of the most dominant defensive units in basketball. And with Flagg quarterbacking from the wing, it could be a nightmare for opponents trying to score inside. When Cooper arrived in Dallas, Kidd wasted no time. He wanted to see how much of the offense the rookie could actually run, and Summer League in Las Vegas became the testing ground. The results? Mixed, but highly encouraging. In his debut, Flagg struggled with efficiency, shooting just 5 for 21 from the field. But even on an off night, he managed to completely swing the game's biggest moment. With just over a minute left, he flew in from the weak side to block a layup, grabbed the ball, pushed to break himself, drew 3 defenders, and kicked it out for a wide-open 3 that sealed the win over the Lakers. Then came Game 2 against the Spurs.